This is episode 14 of the Online Playmaker Sessions. This week's episode is with rising star and award-winning marketer, Stephen Krivda.
Welcome to the Online Playmaker Sessions. This is the place for the latest what's working now strategies from the best online playmakers, the top marketers, the rising stars who are making it happen right now. Every week, you'll get real, actionable lessons that you can take and apply immediately in your business, delivered in short 20-minute sessions. Our focus is your results. Here's your host, entrepreneur, world-class trainer, and marketing strategist, Norbert Orlowitz.
Hello, online playmakers. If this is your first time tuning into the Playmaker Sessions, thank you for choosing us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and if you prefer video, our YouTube channel at onlineprofitplaybook.tv. As with all of our episodes, we have all the show notes, transcripts, and actionable tips over on the blog. Just head over to www.onlineprofitplaybook.com. You'll also be able to get access to my complimentary 5-video tutorial series on building the proper foundation for your online business, as well as several other free trainings, including my Instant Income Multiplier tutorial. And if you're ready to multiply your results fast, check out the premium membership of our Online Profit Playbook, where our guests open up their closely guarded playbooks and walk you step by step through the exact marketing funnels and sales process they use to build their audience, grow their influence, and make sales. Get the coveted Online Profit Playbook today. Just head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers. Stephen Krivda came into the home-based business industry like most people, simply looking for a way to make some extra income. And with that mindset, that's exactly what he achieved for several years. With a growing family, he soon decided to take his business seriously and invested in education and coaches. He was introduced to the concept of online attraction marketing in 2011 and spent the next 2 years learning everything he could, getting ready to get ready. In 2013, he took action on everything he had been learning and began to quickly see the results. Steve is now a prolific video marketer, trainer, and leader in the home-based business industry. He quit his full-time job last year and now works from home and spends time with his 2 young boys and wife in beautiful Naples, Florida. He has spoken on stage and received numerous awards as a top marketer. Steve's mission is to show others that financial freedom and building your own home business is possible for anyone willing to put in the time and the work to do it. This week's online playmaker, Stephen Krivda. Welcome back to another Online Playmaker session here. It's Norbert Orlowitz bringing you another episode, and I'm really excited to bring on a special guest here with us today, Stephen Krivda from Naples, Florida. Stephen, how are you doing today from sunny Florida?
I'm doing good, man. I almost started complaining about the 6-degree weather until you and I started talking. So
yeah, maybe I didn't show you a shot of outside because it actually just snowed. I'm in Vancouver. It doesn't usually snow here, but we had snow this morning. So yeah, it's a little cooler here than you've got it there. So no complaints from you.
Yeah.
All right, Stephen, we're gonna jump right into this interview. We're gonna try to keep it to 20, 25 minutes or so. And I'm really excited for you to share your story and your experience. We were just having a quick conversation here before we got started. And what's awesome about you is, you're an old school network marketer. You've been in the industry since 2006, but you came online in 2011. You had a fantastic journey of learning. And now you are just crushing it. You're getting amazing results. You're in the leadership levels inside of MLSP. You've hit L4 and you said you're closing in on L5, which is amazing. So you're obviously creating results, building your team, generating leads, building your business. And what I love about you is, like you said, you keep it really basic and really simple. And so I think a lot of new marketers, a lot of struggling marketers are really going to get a lot from this interview. So let's jump right into it. What I'd like you to do, Stephen, is just take us back a little bit and share with us that transition of being in the industry in network marketing and then coming online in 2011. What was the motivation for it and how did that happen?
Yeah, wow, that's an interesting question. It's funny because I came into the industry because my buddies were doing it. And that was basically it. You know, I just got married. My wife and I just got married, and my friends that were married had same aged kids as us. We figured, well, this would be a cool place to hang out with everybody. And well, you know, once you're in the industry, that's it. You're in. So, you know, I kind of went through my womb market, and we had a great time, grew it. And when the economy kind of dipped down, a lot of people backed back out. And then I realized, as I was coming back into the industry and really looking to ramp things up again, a lot of my friends and the people that I worked with in the past were really gun shy. Just, you know, saying, well, you know, I tried this in the past, and you know, the typical response. And I said, all right, no big deal. I said, cool. So I thought to myself, you know, where am I going to go from here? I'm like, what the heck? And you know, I was actually having a conversation with Ray Higdon, and he goes, well, this seems to be helping me as well. He goes, I've been working online, and he goes, let's talk about it. And so around 2011, yeah, it was about the end of 2011, I came in and I found My Lead System Pro, and I thought, well, this seems like a really good platform. There's a lot of stuff to learn here. And I went on about a 2-year journey of being just addicted to learning everything I possibly could. And what happened was I took all that almost like an excuse to not take action, because I wanted to learn everything first. And you're never going to learn everything, because there's just so much out there. And so for about 2 years, I was on webinars, I was learning, I was purchasing courses and going through these different, you know, trying to catch up to everybody else. And I soon realized after a couple of years, I couldn't catch up. There was just no way to catch up, because I mean, as we're talking right now, I'm sure somebody's coming up with something that'll be out tomorrow. So it was a couple of years of just really, it was like college.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, a lot of marketers, you know, that get online can really relate to that, because I mean that's the natural process. Learning internet marketing is a brand new skill. If you've never done it before, if you've never done any marketing before, you know, it really is like going to university or college and learning a brand new skill. And I think it's really important to treat it that way. But at the same time, we've got to have this delicate balance of learning and then applying. Yeah. So share with us, Stephen, what was the breakthrough? What was the change that happened that finally got you into a place where you started applying what you were learning and started to get results? Maybe it was a mental shift, but maybe it was some specific activities that you actually took action on.
Yeah, the switch. Yeah. The switch was, honestly, I got tired of feeling that struggle inside. You know, there was, I through my whole life, I've come into something at the bottom. Pretty much everything I've ever done, I've always started at the bottom, but I've always worked my way up to the top. And almost everything, I mean, from my jobs, you know, starting at obviously, you know, a low income and working way up to manager. I was in martial arts. I came in obviously as a white belt. I ended up running the school. And then I came into this industry, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, everything else seems so easy compared to what I'm doing here. And I kind of looked back at what I was doing before, and I'm like, man, you know, what it was I learned everything that I needed to learn to apply, but I wasn't applying. So that struggle was really just I was manufacturing it in my head. It wasn't a struggle at all. It was just me not taking any action. And what it was, this is kind of funny, and I know somebody's going to hit this one. Somebody will definitely relate here. My wife said to me, she's like, what are you doing in your office 2 to 3 hours a night? I mean, like, seriously here, what the heck is going on? I'm like, I'm working. And she says, it's been 2 years. Like, a result would be awesome. And I had mediocre results, like a couple people here and there, but it wasn't, you know, 12 to 14 hour results. So all the education that I was learning, everything I was learning, all I did was I just started applying it, which is, it seems so simple to say now. It seems so ridiculously easy to say out loud, but I just wasn't applying it. I wasn't really taking any action at all. It was almost like I was growing my team through osmosis. People would come around me long enough and they would just kind of end up on my team somehow. So it that was the shift. I got tired of just being, and just wanted to be something bigger. You know, I watched some good friends of mine really making an impact on people. And I said, you know, I can do that. I've done that in the past. I can do that as well. I want to empower people, you know, similar to me, you know, regardless of what I've done with my jobs and all that kind of stuff. My education is very limited. You know, I barely made it out of high school. So it's not like, you know, I figured if I could show people how they can become immensely successful and through this industry, then what the heck, this is worth a shot, pushing through and just making it work.
Absolutely. Now, when we talk about taking action, can you share with us, and this is going to be really important for the people that are, you know, relating to your story right now, and they're in that place of learning, taking in information, you know, maybe they know a lot, but the pieces aren't fitting together and they're not quite sure what they're supposed to do. Can you share with our audience, what was it specifically that you took action on? You know, did you start creating videos? Did you start writing blog posts? Did you start posting ads, doing solo ads? What were the actions that you started to take specifically?
Oh, okay, cool. So the first thing I started doing was actually having a conversation with people, just going on Facebook and Twitter, and anybody that wanted to talk to me, I just wanted to talk to them and kind of get inside their head, no matter if they just started today or if they've been in the industry for 20 years. I just wanted to talk to people because two things. One, if they were new and I could help them, then I knew where I could direct them. The second thing is, if they were smarter than I am, I wanted to learn from them, because and I'll tell you, it's really hard to put away my pride and ego. So anybody that would just have a conversation with me, I would talk to them, start online and get them on the phone. And then I started taking that material and putting it into video and writing blogs. So it was real-time content. And all of a sudden, people were saying, hey, I just read your article. This is exactly what I'm going through. Or I just saw your video. I can't believe, are you reading my mind? And I'm like, nope. I'm like, this is just what, this is really cool that people are reaching out. And all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, if I'm struggling with something, or if I've struggled with something, the odds are that somebody else will as well. So that's basically how I started. I had no idea how to do a capture page or even really what an opt-in was. I was just putting out content to whoever wanted to see it, read it, or watch it.
That's awesome. So there's that big shift that I'm always looking for, and it's really been fascinating interviewing so many different marketers. But whenever I ask about this breakthrough, the common theme is that you started to create content. Mm-hmm. And that I've realized is the big shift. If you're listening right now, if you're watching this interview, listening to this interview, the big thing that I want to communicate is, if you are ready for your breakthrough this year, 2016, you're ready to make things happen, the action that you've got to start taking is creating content. And like Steven said, it's the struggles that you faced, the struggles that you had, the challenges you had, you created content around, and all of a sudden people are relating to that and they're connecting with you on those struggles and those challenges. But now you're able to offer some type of a solution to those challenges as well, right? Because of your experience and what you've discovered in the marketplace, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, awesome, powerful stuff. So really simple actions that you took, really. You started having conversations, and then based on the conversations, you started creating some simple content, right?
Yeah.
Now, had you create videos? So had you created videos before? Have you ever been in front of the camera?
I have been, yeah, they were horrible.
So what was that process like? Because I think that's a big challenge for so many marketers is getting in front of the camera and doing the videos. Most people have never done anything like that before in their life, can't even imagine doing it. Here we are doing an interview that's going to go out to the public. And I know, do you run webinars now as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So now you're running webinars as well. Talk to me about that process, because I know there's a lot of fear that comes up for people when we say, okay, it's time to start creating content. Let's go create some videos. Share with us, what was that process like, and how did you overcome some of the challenges in getting in front of the camera and creating content?
Okay, cool. So when I first remember those Canon cameras, they just came in, they're called Coolpix.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I had set that up behind my laptop, and I had my script on my computer in Notepad blown up so I could see it. And it was my first video. I had a friend of mine reached out to me about 3 or 4 months ago, and he said, I can literally see your eyes going back and forth and reading. And I was sweating. So like, it was horrible. I mean, and it was that video that I put up took me like 4 hours. It was a 2-minute video. In fact, I know how long it was because it was around Christmas time, and my wife had gone out shopping for the kids for Christmas. And she left. I said, I'm gonna do a quick video. And when she came back, I was still doing it. It was terrible. And then I just honestly, I just kept going. I just was like, you know, it came out okay, you know, whatever, you know, I kept telling myself it's about the content in the video, not what kind of a weirdo I look like. And I started doing videos more often. And it was funny because I followed Ray Higdon from day one and I still do. Him and we're like very, very good friends. And I had a phone call from a friend of mine, Rosemary Summers, and this is probably 3 years ago, or 2 years ago, and she says, hey, I've been following your videos. I think they're really good. And I said, oh, thanks. And she says, I have one problem. I'm like, okay. And she says, you need to stop being Ray Higdon and start being Steve Krivda. And I was like, ouch. I'm like, what does that mean? And she said, go back and watch your videos and watch his. And what I was doing was I was emulating his tonality, the way he held himself, the way he spoke with his hands. I mean, like if I had more hair, you would have thought I was him. So wow. I shifted. I'm like, wow, that's a really good point. I'm like, thanks. So I didn't do anything for a few days. And what I did was, and this is something that was really, really important. And I've spoken to people about this before, and it helped them shift a little bit on videos, because we try to be somebody that we're not, or we try to be somebody else. And if you can, and I just turned it into me because I'm goofy. I'm goofy. I'm like, you would think that I was 5 because I like to have fun. I have a really goofy sense of humor. And all of a sudden I felt more comfortable in front of the camera because I was basically speaking exactly how I spoke to a specific person. So I would imagine somebody being there. So all of a sudden my videos shifted from one thing and just completely turned into something else. And that's when things started picking up. So it was learning very hard, and a very hard lesson to just be myself. And, you know, somebody will like me. I don't know who it will be, but somebody will.
That's awesome. And what a great process, you know, because it really is, you know, recording videos, getting into video marketing, specifically video marketing. It's definitely a process of growth. You know, from the first videos you create, which are absolutely horrible, to then kind of finding your voice and finding your style and finding the way that you want to create videos. And it's awesome to go through that progression. I think that's one of the big things that, you know, a lot of struggling marketers want to communicate to is allow yourself to go through this process and through this journey. You know, we always get, you know, there's anxiety, there's anxiousness about creating results now, right? You know, but you got to understand, you know, you're taking on a brand new skill. You're learning a brand new business. You got to give yourself the time to grow and to develop into, you know, into a real marketer. And that doesn't, you know, it just doesn't come overnight. So, Stephen, you've had an amazing journey here online, you know, with your growth and what you're doing now. Just share with people really quickly, what is business like for you now compared to what it was like, you know, maybe when you were doing it traditionally, or maybe, you know, when you were getting started? What is life like for you now? What is business like for you now? I want to share people that it's worth it. It's worth the struggle and the challenges that you went through. So just share with us sort of, you know, what's your experience of business and life and marketing now? Do you love it? Was it worth it?
It was worth every single tear. You know, because there were days where, man, because I left what are we in, January?
Yeah. Man,
I left my job in February of 2015, and it was a really scary, terrifying decision.
Wow. And
it's scarier after I made the decision, after I came home. And I'll tell you, there were days where, you know, you just sit there and like, anybody that knows me knows I'm emotional anyways. I just sat there and just like, what the heck? What am I doing to my family? Like, you start questioning everything. Like, did I make the right decision? Am I doing this? Am I good enough to do this? can I live up to what I need to live up to create the life that I promised my family? And it's scary. And in fact, I even asked my wife last week, I said, we're at this level right here. Are you still happy with the decision that I've made? Or when I say that we've made? And she says, yeah, of course. Why are you questioning yourself? And I said, no, I'm not questioning myself. I said, I'm just doing a gut check for both of us because we're coming into the new year and it's about to get busier. So I'm just asking. So is it worth it? Hell yes, it's worth it. The last 2 weeks, my sons were home for Christmas vacation, and I was home every day with them. That was, that was worth everything. It's worth everything.
Yeah. Worth everything. Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. So let's share with our audience members here right now. Why don't you share with us now? I know you're going to go into a lot more detail in the premium session. You're actually going to, share your screen. We're going to walk through a little bit more in detail your specific process to generate leads, build your business, acquire customers, all that kind of stuff. But just share with our audience really quickly. Give them an idea of what do you do in your business to create leads and to generate business? Because I know that you're very basic. You like to keep things really simple, really basic. Yes, you use lead capture pages now, and you know how to build a sales funnel. Sure, you've developed all these skills, but really you try to keep it really basic and really simple. So maybe share with people, what is your process? What is your simple process to generate leads and grow your business?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the head. I keep it really basic. But just to back up real quick, when I was coming through the process of leaving my job, one of the biggest things that I see, and my dad did this for me because he owned his own business. He owned his own car lot for I don't know how many years growing up. And watching him and the money that he made and the sacrifice that he did in the beginning. And then I watched as he was able to, when we moved to Florida, we were able to go fishing. He had a boat. We lived on Naples Bay. I don't remember the sacrifice that he did. Mm. And that was what my boys, they kept coming up to me, when are you going to be able to hang out with us? And I'm like, it's soon. And finally, when I was able to cut away from my job, when I told my oldest that, I said, do you remember that day? And he said, yeah. And I said, today's the day. And I would have cut off my own arm to get that feeling back again, because he hugged me and held me and he says, thank you. So like you're going to impact thousands and tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people across the internet. But like the people that are directly in our lives, like my two little boys, they know now what's possible by just pushing and just never quitting. So like that's, I don't know where they're going to be in 10 years or 15 or 20 years from now, but I'm hoping that, my wife and I, that we've instilled in them, if you just never quit, that you'll win. So I just wanted to take a step back because I was thinking about it as we were going through. So my process is really simple. I typically, I'll wake up in the morning and I exercise. I always have motivational something going on, whether it's Christian radio or like the Miracle Morning or a Compound Effect or something to get the juices flowing, something to get my thought process going, not just music. And then I take the kids to school and I listen to audios on the way back to my house, and that's when I come back and I'll create content. So I always do a video and I always correlate it with my blog or my article. And then I just put it out there. I stick it on my fan page, and then I'll share it to a couple of Facebook groups. And I just came up with a cool little strategy, which we can go over on the next one. But I also put my blog and my article on Instagram. So that's a neat little deal. And that's pretty much it, and if I really like the article, if I like the way it feels, because not every single one of them really gets me going. Yeah. They all have some sort of value in it, but there's some that really I'm like, that was really good. I'll run an ad to that, and then I'll run it to different audiences, and that's where the lead flow comes in. And the neat thing is, and it's funny because Hagen had mentioned this, and you hear the word consistency so much in this industry, and it's like, consistent in what? Like, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, I sit at my computer every day. Is that it?
Being consistent.
I'm consistent at doing nothing, it hit one day is that the consistency of action gets you in front of people day after day after day, and they begin to know, like, and trust you. And you could be selling water, people won't care, because if they know, like, and trust you, and you have value, they're going to want to follow you. And it didn't hit me until about a year ago, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, that's what that means. You know, being consistent doesn't mean just showing up every day. Being consistent in your actions and letting people see you putting value out there, that's a big part of the game, in my opinion, getting your content out every day.
Yeah,
or 3 days a week.
Yeah, exactly. I think some people might be intimidated by the daily thing. I know Higdon's, been your mentor, and he is Mr. Consistency. I mean, his picture's in the dictionary when you look up consistency. It's amazing. I'm just absolutely in awe by his work ethic and what he's been able to accomplish. So that's a great mentor to have, when you talk about consistency. So some people get intimidated by daily content, but I think the big thing is consistent content, as long as it's, I mean, I would say at least minimum once a week, but probably 2-3 times a week would be ideal. Would you say? Yeah.
And I know people like Tanya Eliza, she does 1 article a week, but she knows where to put it. And that's key as well. And I'll tell you, if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do it every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So people know what to expect. They open up their email and they get, oh, cool. Here was Norbert's Monday email. Sweet. I've been looking for this, or whatever. It's the consistent thing that people really dig, and they follow you just for the fact that you're being consistent, which is an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. All right, Stephen, great stuff. Really good stuff. Every single one of these interviews just completely blows me away. And I really, thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience. And it's specific to you, but I think a lot of people will be able to relate to it. What I'd love for you to do is just finish off here for our audience and leave everyone with Stephen Krivda's words of wisdom. 3 tips to break through in your business in 2016. It's the beginning of the new year. You're actually going to be the first interview we release here for 2016. So, Stephen, you got a lot of pressure on you here because everybody wants 2016 to be their best. And we want to hear from you. What are the 3 things we should be focusing on? What should we do to make 2016 our best year ever?
It's I just did a call on this earlier, and it's tracking. Everybody has the Fitbits on because everybody got them for Christmas. And my buddy Jake was down here last week, and he said, I made a commitment to myself to be consistent on my exercise. So I have 10,000 steps a day. And he said, it doesn't matter if we just came home from a restaurant and I'm half shot in the bag or whatever. He goes, but if I don't have my if I don't have my steps in, my family has permission to kick me out the car and I have to walk home. So commit to yourself. That's obviously extreme, but commit to yourself that you're gonna be consistent. Track what you have going on. One of the things is, as marketers, there's a lot of different personalities in this industry, and if we leave the ideas in our head, it's easy to forget them. So if you wake up in the morning and say, all right, even if it's the day before, even if it's tomorrow, it doesn't matter. But if you say, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and have it written down, you can't ignore it because it's in your face. And if you didn't get to something, then you're starting to track your activities. And your results are going to be a direct reflection of your activities. So if you look and you say, I haven't had any results today, well, I created a blog. Oh, okay. That's probably why. Track your activities and start creating add in a passive stream of leads and a passive stream of income, meaning create content. I don't care if it's blogs, articles, Facebook notes. I've seen all kinds of cool stuff on Facebook, videos on Facebook notes, YouTube videos, get active on your blog and start putting content out there, because those passive leads, I have leads coming in from stuff that I don't remember. I don't even know where they're coming from, which is kind of neat. So start creating that for if something ever happens. If you get, say you get to go for surgery and you're out for a month, but you're still getting something coming in. And then last part of it is get active. You know, especially if you're in the beginning stages of this. You know, when you're further down the line, like, you know, Norbert and Finale and Harbert and Higdon, you know, the leads just keep coming. But in the beginning, even if you're not getting the results that you want, you've got to create activity. You've got to start talking to people. And the more people that you talk to, the more things are going to start spinning. And here's a little added. When you speak to somebody and you give them value, don't be afraid to ask for the testimonial. Tell them, say, hey, if you got value out of this and you want to speak highly of me or just not say something mean, go to my Facebook page and say, hey, I just had a conversation with Norbert. Man, it was immensely effective, or, you know, whatever. I just got a lot of value. Because that, in the eyes of the people that are watching you, even the skeptics, will start pulling and drawing them in.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it. Consistency, tracking, be accountable to yourself, and putting active. What's that?
Passive and getting active with people.
Getting active with people and creating those passive lead generation sources through content. Awesome advice. That is a great plan for 2016. Honestly, if you just focused on those things that you shared there, Stephen, I honestly believe that you would increase your results in 2016, hands down, if you just followed those few little tips there.
Cool.
Stephen, thank you so much. Great advice, great experience. Really loved this interview, really enjoyed it. And I look forward to our premium session where you're going to walk us through your simple, basic, but powerful strategy that's been getting you lots of results and, it's created a full-time income for you. So you were able to quit your job and stay at home with your kids and with your family. Congratulations on all your success. I look forward for everything you're going to accomplish in 2016. It's been an honor to have you here. And thank you so much again for being here.
Man, thank you. This has been an honor for me. I've been excited since the day that we first talked about this. So I'm grateful that it's finally here. And thank you so much for having me on. This has been totally awesome.
Awesome. My pleasure, Stephen. My pleasure. All right, everybody. See you again on the next episode of Online Playmaker Sessions. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this week's Playmaker session. If you love the session, subscribe now to our YouTube channel so you never miss our weekly episodes. Be sure to also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just type in Online Playmakers in the search bar and click subscribe, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. All of the episodes, show notes, transcripts, resources, and bonuses are available on the blog over at onlineprofitplaybook.com, along with several bonus free tutorials I've created for you as well. Your fast track to results is to follow the Playmakers. You can download their closely guarded playbooks and follow them step by step to grow your influence, build your audience, and create results in your business right now. Head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers to get full access today. Thank you again for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week as we bring you another power-packed session with the top Playmakers online. This is Norbert Orlowitz signing off.